All right, we are live here on BS and Beer Media. It's the Beer Chaser, and we're after the draft. How you feeling, Craig?
Man, I am feeling really good. And I'm accused of being an optimist pretty often.
Mhm.
And that's because I am, which makes it a pretty fair assessment. But no, I feel good about it, man. We're going to get into it a lot, so I'm not going to give you a whole recap. But if I had to pick good or bad, man, I'm picking good.
Good, good, good. I mean, I'm actually feeling pretty good about it. I've watched um, the draft picks, and you know, you know how we do. We you either know the guy and you're already excited when they get him, or you have to go learn about the guy and then you get excited because we got him, that kind of thing. And that's
Yeah,
where I fall. So,
yeah. Especially because when you look them up, all you find are highlights and not like game film. So
oh
everybody looks
no,
better.
no. I've got the solution for that. See, I don't go look up the highlights. I go and I look up this guy versus, and then I find a good team or something like
Ah,
that, and I watch that game and I see how they do. Don't get me wrong. This is not real GM stuff, but this is like my part-time GM work where I have
this
a full-time job doing something else.
This is
But
the hard-hitting kind of investigative journalism that you can expect from BS and Beer.
yeah, look, listen, at least I'm honest about this thing, okay? I'm a
Hey,
part-time GM, okay?
okay. I'm gonna lie to everybody and pretend I know what I'm talking about. So that
Oh no, I know what I'm
there's no.
talking about.
Oh no,
Okay.
I don't. I'm gonna lie. So at least one of us knows what's going on.
Yeah, they should definitely listen to me because my picks are never wrong.
If
No.
they listen to you, everyone on the team would be from LSU, except for the running back who would be Spears.
Yeah, well, we may be touching on that topic a little bit
What?
later on in the show.
Foreshadowing.
So I figured, man, we can just put a little Star Wars spin on this thing. Because usually you get either with the Saints podcast, typical Saints podcast, you either get somebody that's totally positive, oh, the Saints never do anything wrong. Of course, you should love this pick. Trust Mickey Loomis. And then you have the guys who's like, I don't know why they picked that guy. That guy sucks. This guy sucks. They should have
That's
picked.
right.
They should have picked this other guy because I know that guy. So I figured, hey, we could put a Star Wars spin on this thing, and we could be a light side and a dark side, and we give it all to you. How you like that?
Sure. Yeah. All right. Sure. I mean, I'm a
Right.
Boba Fett guy, so I try to think of myself as neutral in the grand scheme of the Star Wars universe, but I'll take it.
Ah,
Let's do
okay.
this.
You
But for the
go.
purpose of this, I will be the Jedi, the light, the bringer of balance to the Force, and you can be the one who kills all them kids in the Jedi Temple.
Yeah, maybe so. So, but hey, I'm gonna start off with my drink here. I'm drinking Day Drinker by Lost 40 Brewing.
Ooh,
Um, pretty good brew here. And I know you're not drinking anything, but
not me.
you drank yesterday, and let's talk about what you had yesterday.
Ooh, yesterday I had a few drinks. You know what I had? I had a bunch of younglings,
Yeah. Uh-huh.
youngling. I had
Yingling.
no idea how to pronounce that. Uh, but now that everybody's boycotting the Budweiser stuff, apparently they're a big beer brand out in the Midwest and the South down here that I had never really had until recently. But they're all right. They're fine. Yeah,
You try
it's
the one
fine.
with the Hershey's in it?
No, no, I just had the lager. What are you talking about? There's a Hershey's one.
Yeah, it's a porter.
Oh, we supposed
Um,
to? I thought we are supposed to be boycotting Hershey's too. I get lost. Well, there's a lot of shit we're supposed to be boycotting lately.
I can't keep up with all that crap,
Yeah,
right?
it's tough. You lose track, and then all of a sudden you're a woke son of a bit. Yeah, I give up sometimes. I don't
So yeah, I don't keep track with all that, but yeah, it's
know.
one with Hershey's in it. It's a
Whoa.
porter. It's you should try it out, man.
Yeah, I have because I still have my stash of most of that California beer
Right.
that my wife
Mhm.
brought back, and I'm trying not to drink all of that in one sitting because
Okay.
good God, I would.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm trying to stretch that out a little bit. Anyway,
It's easy for you to do. I know that.
yeah, me and my self control.
Yep.
That's why I'm a Trem 185
Yeah.
because of my self control.
There you go. All right. Well, let's get started with this thing. And like I said, we're gonna start off first with the light side. So let's go over to that. Right. The light side.
If you better have the Imperial March queued up for the dark side, I swear. If
I
you
might.
blow this, I am gonna quit the show forever. Oh my god.
I might. I might. You never know.
Okay, all right. So the light side, plain and simple. From for my point of view and a lot of people's point of view, the biggest needs in order were defensive line and then more defensive line and then a running back. So the Saints get into the draft and they go defensive line and then more defensive line and then a running back. No, Mike Triplett said it best. He said no curveballs, all fastballs.
Yeah.
They were hitting the zone,
Yep.
and I loved the first three. People are gonna be mad. I love the first three picks. That includes the running back because I watched a lot of TCU last year when they were making their big run, and dude runs angry, and he's an excellent complement to what we already have. But I love the Breesy pick. I love the Foskey pick. That's fun. He's one of those, he was extremely productive in college. Is the all-time sack leader in Notre Dame history, and that had some good football come through there. I mean, he's got more sacks than Rudy, and they made a whole movie about him. But the thing about him is that he's been productive, but he's really unrefined. His pass rush is still kind of primitive. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So the fact that he is kind of still figuring it out, but has been good anyway, that makes me really excited. I think there's a real chance he's the best player of those first three that we get.
Yeah. The thing I like so much about Foskey is he's so much different than
Mm,
anybody else that we have. He can run from what
hmm
I'm seeing, and when he plays more like wide nine, but he still has some strength to him because I see him using that arm out there and getting that,
Yeah,
using
he's
that
got that
reach.
good pop. Yeah.
Yeah,
What Dave was saying, what he was worried about is that they're going to get a guy like that and then beef him up, add 30 pounds to him, and then he won't be as fast anymore.
right.
But they did say, Dennis Allen came out and said that those running quarterbacks have been hurting us. And like, yeah, yeah, we know. We've been watching.
Yes,
And if they know it and we know it and they're starting to draft something that helps with that, I mean that's exciting. That
that's good.
maybe we're not crazy and maybe they're gonna figure this shit out and get some speed on the edges.
Right. So maybe we start looking at um I guess more of 3-4 kind of mix in where you get that stand up rusher. Maybe.
I mean, I don't think it makes it a 3-4. I think it just means that you're gonna have a guy more pass rush oriented. I mean, you're still
Mhm.
gonna have two down. You're still gonna have a one tech. You're still gonna have a three tech. We do a little bit of an over. One of the things that we do a lot of, which ties really well into our first pick, we do a lot of stunts with our interior linemen. And what Breesy had the most success with in college was coming off of those stunts. So it's weird that he was probably the best D tackle on the board when we picked. He kind of slipped a little bit. I think a lot of people thought we had to trade up to get him,
Right.
and he happens to be really good at what we like to do. It just seems like a lot of pieces just fall into place to make that a great pick, and I love it, and it makes me happy.
Yep. Okay, so you talked about uh, Miller, the running back there. He did get hurt, and that's why he didn't play
Everybody gets hurt. Come on,
in that championship game.
everybody gets hurt.
But he was a pretty big focus of the offense. Now, one of the knocks I did read about him was the passing game work, maybe just a little bit questionable.
Well,
Um,
it's not really part of what TCU does with their
right,
running backs, and
right,
they had a coach come out and say that is that they don't really throw to their backs a lot, but he's capable of doing it.
okay.
So that's yet to be seen, obviously, but it's not like we threw to our running backs last year anyway. So what do I know?
Yeah, well, we definitely missed that part of the offense for
We
sure.
really did fell off. I don't know if it was Jameis Winston's not good at it, and then Andy Dalton was too pathetic to do it. man, I don't want to go down the crapping on Andy Dalton rabbit hole, but good God, just rewatching some of that film, there are just wide open guys, and oh, he had, according to PFF, he was shut up, shut up.
Okay.
Ugh.
So talk to me about the next pick here from Old Dominion.
Now, you see, I really like this pick, and I shouldn't because I like you. I get turned off by the whole small school thing.
Mhm.
But he's really versatile, and he's not a project. He
Right.
knows how to do it. He's really technically sound, which is not something you often find from one of these
Okay.
smaller schools. Um, so he's going to have to get stronger. His lower body strength is not where it's going to need to be, and the level of competition is going to be a
Right.
huge jump. So that's going to be some growing pains. I don't expect him to start, now or maybe, ever for that matter. But
Yeah.
the fact that he can kind of slide in and be a backup in 5 different spots, that's awesome. That is the
Right.
kind of
That was
yeah,
really amazing. The fact that
hmm
he played all 5 spots. Um, Saldivari, um, from what I read with Jim Nagy, he
hmm
said that he pictured him best as a center.
yeah. His last year in college, he played primarily at tackle and then ended up playing center in the Senior Bowl. Like
Right.
that is some impressive versatility,
Yeah.
and that can make you invaluable
Hmm.
on an NFL roster. So I think he has a really good shot of making it, especially with Throck hasn't really developed the way I was hoping he would.
Hmm.
Young hasn't really pushed forward to take that
Right.
spot, and now we're talking about neither Pete nor Ruiz might be on the roster next
Right.
season. So there's a lot of fucks going on. He has every opportunity to make this team, all of them.
Yeah. Yeah. So the next one pick, Saints trade up. Um, and this is where we take this quarterback from Fresno State and Jake Hayner. And this is when I'm
hmm
thinking like, oh no, we're trading up again. We're giving up assets. But from what I read, everything I read on this guy, Drew Brees clone, Senior Bowl MVP. He went to Fresno State, so of course he knows Derek Carr. So he's
Yeah,
like
they have a
Derek Carr's little
relationship
brother
already.
now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they have an established relationship. He modeled his game after Drew Brees. He
Right.
wears number 9, or used to wear number 9 for Drew Brees. He was a Saints fan growing up because of it. There's pictures
Right.
of him, going to school in a Reggie Bush jersey. That's awesome. So yeah, I mean, I don't really picture anything beyond a backup quarterback for him. But hey, if it saves you $3 million a year in a backup quarterback, it's still helping your team. I like him.
It's
I
true.
think there's potential there. He's got really good timing. He's a good rhythm thrower. He has a lot of the. I don't want to say Breeze like that's terrible.
A lot of moxie.
He does have a lot of moxie.
Yes, he does.
Coach's kid, hard worker, shows up early.
But I swear,
Let's
I
go.
believe I saw something on NFL Network about him before the draft and everything.
hmm
I want to say like his dad was like a arm wrestler or something like that. And this could
I
be a
missed
totally
that part.
different
That's
guy.
cool.
But
No, I'm going to pretend that's the case because that sounds
yeah,
fun.
yeah. So
But I mean, he was on Heisman watch lists the last couple of years going into them. He
yeah,
has stats. He's a good
really good,
player.
really good, man.
So sure, the level of competition again, everything, but there's if the floor is he doesn't make the team and you only spent a seventh and a whatever the hell else we
Yeah.
spent to trade up for, then who cares? Let me roll the dice.
Look, the best thing with him, he anticipates throws,
Yes,
and so he's
which
getting the ball out.
imagine if Jameis Winston and his arm could anticipate a goddamn throw for
Yes,
once in his life. Oh
throw it, just throw it.
God, I wish. Oh. We'd be looking at our banner hanging in the rafters if Jameis Winston could anticipate a throw.
Oh, you man. All right, the next
Man.
pick. Um, this is where we went safety Jordan Howden
Mhm.
from Minnesota. Now, I didn't really know too much about him because I had to go look that stuff up. Of
Mhm.
course, with the Saints, you got to be athletic if they draft
Mhm.
you. So I
Well, he
really,
is athletic. He's got the big RAS score. Sorry, I didn't mean
yeah,
to cut you off.
I really imagine him as more of a special teams guy. Maybe gonna be the next gunner.
That's what I was going to say, is
Yeah.
that he was really athletic. Special teams were something that he was really good at in college. He
Mhm.
excelled at special teams. So that in on itself, that could make you a roster, especially with the Saints. The Saints love putting assets into their special teams. So
Yeah.
that's an absolute path to the roster. I mean, I don't see a whole lot else from him on that. Like I said, he wasn't playing safety in the SEC. He was a Golden Gopher. It's not a terrible conference, but
Yeah.
come on. He didn't play at Ohio State, therefore he can't play in our secondary. We know the rules. But like he's got, again, RAS score, special teamer. He's got potential. There's no gamble there. Like if he doesn't pan out, bummer. If he does, he makes a roster, then cool, man. We're rolling the roster over to more cheap rookie contracts. That's how you win.
Right. We definitely need that. Um, let's see. The last one that we drafted was wide receiver A.T. Perry out of
Ooh,
out of Wake Forest.
that's an exciting one.
Now I looked at a couple of his games. Man, he is impressive. Don't get me wrong. I don't think
Mm,
he's going to be like Mr.
Randy Moss.
Justin Jefferson or
Nope,
somebody like
he's
that.
new
But
Randy Moss.
yeah, but yeah, the guy he can break one like when he gets his short breaking tackles. He's a strong guy.
Hmm.
Um, I didn't see too much for him like contested catches, but I know he doesn't get a whole bunch of separation on some of these throws.
Yeah, he's
So
got the frame for it. Even
mhm,
he needs to bulk up. He's 100
yeah,
pounds soaking wet kind of guy. He's definitely too thin. But he has the breakaway speed. He's got a huge frame. He's like 6'4".
right.
He's got the range. He's got the ability to be that kind of guy. He did have a problem with drops. He had, I think, 17 drops in the
Mhm,
last 2 seasons.
mhm,
So he has to work on that kind of concentration. But the Saints love having those big bodied receivers,
yeah.
and you can tell by adding the guy from the Raiders and now drafting this guy that the Saints are trying to look for what to do when Michael Thomas gets hurt in week 3.
Yep.
Um,
Exactly. So
which
I
hurts me
need
to say,
him.
'cause but he's but ton of potential. He has the most. I
Yep.
think he has the highest ceiling of anyone.
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely the highest ceiling. Um, I saw some guys in the ACC that covered the ACC at least. They were saying this was like their one of their best kept secrets for some reason, but this was a guy that was a dominant kind of pass catcher in the ACC, and Wake Forest really did have a pretty nice offense. They ran a lot of hurry up stuff, and he was like the primary ball catcher
Mhm.
out there. Their quarterback really short, but I mean, you really watch this guy, man. That guy never really stepped up. I'm sorry, he always stepped up into the pocket, never really stepped back. So, um, that was kind of weird looking at that. But man, I'm excited about
But no one
seeing
ever told me what
Perry
they are.
and what he can do in on the NFL field, man. Because I think he could be something legit there. Now, I know it was Wake Forest though, but it is what it is.
Now, did you ever find out? They said that he fell for some character issues, but
Nope,
no one can tell me what they are. They
nope.
said, oh well, he was projected to be a third rounder, and he fell because of some character stuff, but no one's telling me
Right.
what the character stuff is.
I have no idea what the character stuff is, but if it helps us land, you know, a good player, then hey, so be it. I mean, look, he came into a good situation because
Oh,
for
absolutely.
sure, man, we can use another wide receiver. So, um, and as always, after the
Yeah,
Saints draft,
he's got a clear path in.
yep, as always after the Saints draft, we get right on the UDFA train, baby. And who are some of these guys on the UDFA list that you're excited about here, Craig?
There's 11 guys on the list.
Mhm.
Most of them I had never heard of, and I may never hear of again. There's two guys that are interesting to me. Anderson, because he's a Tulane guy, and of all the Tulane guys we did miss on this draft, I'm glad that we at least signed one,
Yeah.
and he's a local guy, and that's exciting.
Right.
Have you seen the punter Lou Headley?
Yeah, from Notre Dame, right? Or was the kicker from Notre Dame?
I don't think he's from Notre Dame. The kicker's from Notre Dame. The punter Lou Headley, he's Australian, and he has
Oh,
tattoos from his chin to his ankles.
okay.
He's like 6'4", 230. He's jacked, and he's this terrifying Aussie that from us. This terrifying tattooed Aussie. It's the funniest thing. And Gilly was kind of terrible last year, so I'm all for some punter competition. And it would be really funny if we had a jacked, terrifying punter. I'm in.
Yeah, yeah. Um, Australia, like they like produce punters over there. It's like a factory, you know.
Yeah. Well, because you have to learn to be able to kick the snakes out of your crib from a young age. And if
Ah,
you don't have that instinct if you don't have the instinct to kick the giant spiders and snakes out of your crib, they just eat you.
mm,
So all of the surviving Australian babies can handle kicking really good.
there you go. That's your fun fact from Craig there.
And they're athletic too, because even if you can kick the snakes and the spiders away, if you're not fast enough to not get eaten by a crocodile, then all of a sudden, you don't make it. You don't make it to adulthood. So all of the adults that come out of Australia are punters. True
Okay,
fact.
there
Look it
you
up.
go. There you go. Only Craig will have that information.
Yep. Yeah. I mean, you can Google it, but the mainstream media is probably hiding it from you.
All right. The guys I'm excited about on this UDFA list, of course, Nick Anderson, the linebacker from Tulane. We about to show them what Louisiana players do. Okay. But I'm also excited about Shaq Davis, man, wide receiver.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
Um, so this is with the HBCU guy, and we're gonna see what he can do. But he broke all kind of records out there. Of course, he's gonna be an athletic guy, so we're gonna actually see what he can do on the NFL field. Again, you come to a good place because we got spots at wide receiver. Man. We got spots.
It is funny how many big time wide receivers fell in this draft. It's interesting. You think because it's weird because you have guys going,
Mm-hmm.
first round wide receiver, but then you have other wide receivers falling way down the list. So it's interesting how the league values them. I haven't put my finger on it yet.
Yeah, yeah. We've learned a lot about what the NFL thinks about uh, players and everything, and so let's look at our roster here, Craig, because now we've got the undrafted rookie free agents on the list, and we've got the rookies that we drafted in there. Um, let's look and see where we actually have some spots open. So I'm really looking at this wide receiver position, and I think A.T. Perry can fit right in. I think we got open spots. Keith Kirkwood can go.
I can't
Freaking
believe he's
Smith
still
can
here.
go.
I can't believe that Kirkwood or Smith are on this roster still. Like, just
Yeah.
and I'm not
Lauren
even like
Baker.
anti Traquan Smith, but like the time is you've run your course, man. You're
Mm-hmm.
done.
Mm-hmm.
You've done well. Pat on the head. Go to fucking Denver and let catch passes when you're wide open and only when you're wide open in Denver. It's fine. Get the hell out of here.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Curtin
I like
Harris can
Traquan
go.
Smith. I'm just kind of done with it. I'm done either defending him or getting mad at him. I'm just done. Just go away.
Yeah. We've got plenty of open spots there. Um, with the offensive line, I think you were dead on with Brock Morton, that being so the various, position, right, to
Yeah.
claim. So,
Yeah, I had a lot of hope for Throck, and I
mhm,
like him as a player, but I think I was counting on him to make a bigger jump than he has. And it doesn't mean that he still won't. Lineman, it takes a long time to figure out at the NFL level sometimes. So I mean, I'm not getting ready to give up on the guy, but I think that's the position that Saliveri is going to come take from him.
yeah. Let's go to defense where Breezy comes in.
Brazil,
Breezy.
Brazil.
All right. And yeah, I'm looking at this defensive tackle spot. Emil Prince, maybe Prince Emil. I mean,
I
he's
have a
old.
feeling one of our UDFA guys. We have a couple of UDFA D tackles, right? No, we don't. Okay, never mind.
No,
Yeah, I think that's still really thin, and we might add a veteran after the compensation period's over. I think we
yeah,
could. I could see us adding another cheap D tackle veteran, just somebody
hmm
to fill out the roster.
well, definitely at defensive end, um, we got to be room full for sure with passing Yo and now Foskey coming on board. I guess Granderson. I'm hoping he can beat out Granderson for that spot.
I hope so, but Granderson's probably penciled in as the starter right now. I mean, I keep waiting for Peyton Turner to turn the corner,
Right.
but
Yeah,
for
I'm
him to Turner the corner, and he hasn't done it
just
yet.
not counting him
It's
anymore.
just, God, it's just. I defended him so much.
Just not counting him anymore, man.
Oh,
Um, at linebacker, of course, Zach Bond
that's
can
thin.
can go.
Yeah,
We're
that
gonna see what
position's
we get
thin.
with DeMarco Jackson. Hopefully he can start doing something.
Imagine if he comes in and ends up being a stud, and then you look stupid.
Look, prove me wrong, baby. Prove me
That'd be
wrong.
awesome. That'd be so fun. He comes in and he just has a like a backup and a rotational guy and
Yeah.
has a Caden Ellis season with like 7 sacks and be like, ha, suck it, Dale.
Of course, cornerback is what we had last year for sure, but the safety position, Jonathan Abram could factor in,
Hmm.
and Smoke Monday maybe.
Yeah, that'd be cool. Smoke's definitely got potential. It sucks that he was hurt that whole rookie year and we couldn't really see
Mm,
any of it. But I mean, yeah, there needs to be some movement on the depth for safety. Either some of these young guys need to develop, or we need to start planning ahead because I like our two starters, but they're both getting a little long in the tooth.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Although, man, Matthew, when we started the season last year, he was really. I don't know if he was kind of learning how we played that position or whatnot, but he started off real slow. By the end of the year, he was really good.
yeah. I kind of figured there would be some communication issues
Yeah,
early on, and I mean it just is what it is when you got new players in the back end like that, man. So new defense, new players playing together. Just take some time, man. That's all.
yeah.
So, all right. Well, that is all we have for the light side. So, of course,
Don't screw this up, Dale.
we're going to get over to the dark side. So, here we go.
The Vader voice is good.
That's right. Other
Is this the
shows won't
is this
give
the
you the
most
dark side.
is this the most fun you've had setting up for a show? It has to be.
It was pretty fun. This was pretty fun. I must admit.
Okay, rain on my parade. Give me all the dark side stuff.
So, what is it with the Saints and these small school players? My goodness, somebody watches a lot of small school football, college, and they don't watch um, the normal college stuff. They watch, you know, the
Dale,
Division 2 stuff.
Our
For no
first
reason.
three picks were Clemson, Notre Dame, and TCU, and TCU is in the college football championship this year. What small school are you mad about?
All of them, all the small schools. Okay, now
Clemson and Notre Dame
hold
are
on
not
here,
small
Craig.
schools.
Give me a second here, Craig. I have more proof here. Okay,
Okay, all right. Then
but
you
also,
give me your proof and then explain to me which between Clemson and Notre Dame is a small school.
well, Notre Dame is pretty small. All right,
Oh, shut up, Dale.
all right. But we also created a hole at tight end
Mm.
because we traded away a tight end to move up in the draft. And also to move up in the draft, we gave away some 24 assets. And I hate giving away 24 assets. Don't do it. Any draft. That's how I feel about it. So those are just my rules. Okay, I will admit it's just my rules. But That's how I feel. um, the biggest thing here, Craig, conferences. The SEC had 62 players
Uh,
selected in the draft. You know how many the Saints drafted? Just take a guess, Craig.
I'm gonna guess the goose egg on that.
Zero,
Yeah, there we
Craig.
go. We picked 29th. Okay, it's not like we had our first run of everything.
Listen, it was 62 players that got
Oh.
drafted from the SEC, and we didn't take one.
Not
Okay,
all of them are gonna be good. I mean, some of them went to
I agree.
LSU and they're gonna flame out in 2 years.
Yeah, they're not all going to be good. I agree. So we ended up taking uh, two players from the Big Ten. I'm sorry, one player from the Big Ten, two players from the ACC, maybe three if you want to count Notre Dame because they basically play ACC schedule, and then one from
Yeah.
the Big 12, and two from conferences that I can't tell you what the name of the conference.
Uh, is Fresno State? Are they the MAC?
Maybe it's
Mm.
possible.
Maybe they're
Big
the WAC.
Sky.
They might be the WAC.
I don't know,
It's a bad sign. I should know that.
but
I'm from California. I should know that.
I can't really diss Fresno State too much because they've got some players in the league,
Yeah,
current
and
players.
and my buddy from high school went to Fresno State.
Yeah,
Okay, so
yeah.
I haven't talked to him in 10 years, but he went
It's,
to Fresno State, so I have to support them.
it's just amazing though. I think like we got something against drafting somebody from the SEC, and I think maybe it's something where somebody wants to be smarter than
That's it.
someone else
That's the one.
because we continue to draft like really small school guys. And don't get me wrong, we hit sometimes on them. We do. I'm just saying percentages, right? Percentages say the big school guy is going to hit more than the smaller school guy. But we hit, so that's the good thing about it.
Look, man, I don't even disagree with you that we should draft more SEC guys, but if they have a guy that they like
Yeah,
Brazil or somebody like that, and he fits what they do better than a guy like that edge rusher from Georgia, who would not have fit in our system at all,
I
you
agree.
know, it's like, okay, well, this guy went to Clemson, which is it's a big school, but it's not SEC. I get it,
Mm-hmm.
but he does exactly what we want him to do. This other guy went into an SEC school, and he might have been a better college player, but we'd have to change our whole defense to use him properly. And if we draft him, he's the new Zach Bond because we have to move him to an off the ball linebacker, and he's not good at that. So it's like sometimes it's just who's there when you're picking, and
Mm-hmm.
who fits your system best.
Well, in the second round, there were three edge rushers that went just about back to back to back, right? BJ Ojolari got taken by the Cardinals.
Uh,
The Saints took Isaiah Foskey, and the Patriots, they took Keon White. I know these are not the same type of player. They are edge rushers, and of course, they're not the exact same type of player. But because they all are edge rushers, I think we're going to compare them throughout their career to see who got the best player. Um, and we did post a Twitter poll on that, and 90%, sorry, 94% of people voted that the Saints took the best edge rusher.
yeah, it's weird that the Saints fans voted for the Saints.
Uh, it's possible they could have voted
We
for
do that.
BJ Ojolari, you know.
If the one of the Tigers pages posted it, then it probably would have been. Yeah, Ojulari. Look, Foskey is faster and leaner than the
Yeah.
normal guys we drafted, and Ojulari is even leaner and smaller than that.
Right. Yeah. Mhm.
I just don't know how well he's gonna have to bulk up just to be an average linebacker.
Mhm.
I all right. I'm an LSU fan, full disclosure, but I am really critical of the way our defensive mentality is. If you're not a D tackle, you're undersized, which is fine because LSU is really good. They have a lot of athletes and they fly into the ball a lot, but every now and then they get punched in the mouth
Mhm.
and people run the ball down their throat because they're undersized. And that I have a problem with a lot of our linebackers like that. Patrick Queen is coming available. It looks like they didn't pick up his
Mhm.
option in Baltimore.
Right.
and he's a safety that plays linebacker because he's so fast and he's so athletic,
Mhm.
but he gets just as soon as a guard gets to him, it's over. And
Yeah, they play a 3-4, so yeah, that's
yeah,
really important to keep him clean.
exactly. So
Mhm.
I mean, it's one of those things, man. It's like I love LSU players, and I do wish that we drafted more of them, but we don't have a system that would really utilize them. They're the way their defense is built is
Yeah.
to have a certain type of guy, and those
Mhm.
certain type of guys don't really fit in what we do right now.
Yeah, I agree. Um, but a lot of there are a lot of teams that run a similar defense in the pros for that very reason, because this is what college is giving them.
Yeah,
And so they're adjusting their defense to do that. And I think right now we're starting to see the beginnings of that by us picking up a guy like Foskey.
yeah,
So
maybe. I would love to not get shredded every time a quarterback
right,
decides to scramble. That would
right,
be awesome.
right, exactly. So Dennis Allen, don't change Foskey. Keep him lean and let him run.
Maybe get Turner to lose some weight too, just a
Yeah,
little bit.
yeah,
Get some more
exactly,
speed out there.
exactly, exactly. So all right, but overall, man, I will say I'm positive about the draft, the the research I've done and everything, and um, I still don't believe like we're like a Super Bowl team because of our
Hater,
roster,
hater.
but you know we still should be able to win our division,
Yeah, we should still be the favorites.
but I'm scared of Philly. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, man, Philadelphia really they had the best between them and San Francisco for having the best roster in the NFC, and they had a really good offseason. So
Mhm.
the only thing that's going to save us from that is that they have that Super Bowl hangover. They lost the Super Bowl, so they're gonna suck, and I don't know how. I don't no idea how that roster is gonna suck, but it's gonna happen.
It's not scientific, but it
It
is
just happens.
scientific because it happens all the time.
Exactly. I can't tell you why it happens all the time. I can just
Right,
tell you that it does.
right,
So
exactly.
yeah, I think San Francisco and Philly are going to be real problems, but I think Minnesota's declining. I think Detroit's on the way up, but Green Bay is bottoming out. The NFC East is kind of trash across the board outside of Philly. I mean, it's open. There's just a couple of big fish. We need them to take each other out and get some good luck. But I mean, I'm not. It all comes down in my opinion, it comes down to health and how Derek Carr fits in the offense. If Derek Carr is really good, and the O line is in at least kind of intact, I think we can go as far as anybody. We absolutely could win this. I'm not saying we are. I'm not saying we should be Super Bowl favorites, but there's no reason to say the defense isn't good enough and we just can't. Like, there's no chance we win the Super Bowl. I mean, like, hell, man, we have to see how the quarterback fits into everything. We don't really know what this team looks like. It's been hurt for 2 straight years.
Yeah, but I'm afraid it's gonna be 3. So
Oh God, it's
we
just
got to
awful.
break it at some point. Like,
It's just law of averages. You have to get lucky eventually, right?
yeah, exactly. Um,
Just one healthy year.
you know,
While Kamara and Thomas are still here.
so yeah, but yeah, man. Pretty soon, like I like to break down the NFC South, and we kind of go through those guys and see where we really stack up, and then maybe look at the NFC as a whole and see how we stack up there.
Yeah, we got to figure out some way to fill time in the month and a half before training camp.
Yeah, let's do it. Okay. All right. Well, that's going to wrap it up for us here on the Beer Chaser. We appreciate everybody for joining us. Remember to go grab your wife or your kids' device and play our podcast on
Oh, for
YouTube.
God's sake!
Yes, we
Just
need to get
begging
our views
for
up.
clicks.
I am not afraid to beg. I'm like Heath Sweat, baby. All right.
Don't don't beg your mom and dad to listen to the show. If you had a good time, listen to us next week, and if you didn't, then I appreciate you. Take care. Who dat?
Who that, man? We out.
Deuces.